I was actually referred over to LiveJasmin by one of the models. I kind of hate to say it under the circumstances, but I initially met her on a rival site, but she told me she was moving over exclusively, and so I followed her over.
I love that. I love that. So she brought her members with her. And how has your experience been so far compared? I'm curious because we know that you were on this rival site, if you will, or a different site. What are some of the differences that you've noticed between this other site and Jasmine?
The connections actually at LiveJasmin just across the board seem to be a whole lot stronger and more stable. Where versus the other place, they would kind of drop here and there, without real notice. And I understand that's a technology thing, that's a bandwidth thing, but just overall, Jasmine seems to be a lot more stable and consistent with the use of product. The one thing that I do like within the LiveJasmin system is that it's really easy to send a gift or a gratuity or a buzz or whatever it may be. So it's actually very intuitive and user friendly.
Are you exclusively a member at Jasmine now, or are you still on some of the other sites? Give it to me straight, Marc. Yeah. You are?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm curious, are you still a very close member of the particular model that brought you to Jasmine?
I am actually. That particular model, absolute sweetheart. We've developed a very strong rapport, very strong relationship. Our interactions don't always have to be, what the site kind of revolves around. We've had, very serious conversations and developed, again, more of a substantial relationship through it, which is also, again, one of the things I like about Jasmine and just overall in the community is there's something there for everybody. One of the things especially with this particular individual is I can be having a lousy day and just pop in real quick and say hello and get a little feedback, and this model in particular, again, as kind of some of her core group will come in, that she'll spend that extra minute, 2 minutes, whatever, talking to them when they come in, and kind of going from there. And again, we've had some deeper conversations. We have some more genuine, again, non-industry related conversations, where we've really gotten to know each other, and we can kind of get each other out of our own heads and back into a moment and enjoying and conversing and having a good time. Like there'll be days, like I'm here in the office now, there'll be days when I'm stuck staring at reports or whatever it may be, and we'll have her room open and just kind of paying attention through Bluetooth headset or whatever, and then kind of jump back and forth and just having the background and it's kind of fun and cool, and yeah, part of me will admit the risk of being in the office and getting caught at the same time kind of makes that more exciting as well, but that's not necessarily one of the more attractive aspects of it. But again, it's that, like we have been talking about, that community feel. Going back to what I just said about some of her core group, there's a couple of us that are in there pretty much every day, and we'll say hi to each other in the chat and see how everyone is doing, as well as of course with the model and everyone else, and she keeps us pretty well in line and having a good time. So
wow. So for you have a model that you're clearly really connected to. There's clearly a genuine relationship there. And then also it sounds like she also on Jasmine has a community.
Very much so.
The community that is part of her member tribe, if you will, you guys also interact in a positive way. Is that?
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow,
And
that's actually really cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can see where you're kind of getting like a double, like double connection in a way, because there's the connection with her, but then there's also this cool, chill vibe, it sounds like,
Mhm.
between her members where you guys all get along and have like a friendship.
Oh yeah, it's funny if if a troll pops in, and of course she's aces handling that. She doesn't take any kind of guff from anybody. It's like, you're in my room, here's the rules, put up or shut up. And if they start jawing, we'll start jawing right back along with her, and they get quiet real quick. So it's kind of fun in that. Well, fun's kind of the wrong word, but it's
It is fun.
kind of that protective nature of us with this particular individual that all of us have come to enjoy and admire a great deal. So but yeah.
I'm curious, your favorite model, what would you say is like the main value that she's bringing to your life?
There's not one thing in particular that she is very unique and very special in just who she is and how she portrays herself. I might get myself in trouble for saying this, but she is the type of woman that if she and I had met anywhere else, the situation was different. I would more than likely have asked her out forever ago and tried to pursue a true relationship. Just it's because it's her personality and it's her intelligence and her drive and it's who she is and what she does and how she handles herself. Again, I've had days where she's pulled me out of my own head. I've had days where I've pulled her out of her head, and we gel really well. So it's not really one thing, but yeah, it's just who she is, and it's just again how she interacts with the world. Oh, if you're not in here doing this, that, and the other thing, then go away. You're wasting my time. She doesn't have that, which I appreciate. Just being a person that I appreciate that.
If you could describe in one word what it is that the platform Jasmine brings into your life, the value, what would it be?
There's a couple in there. I'm trying to, they all kind of weigh evenly.
Give them all to me.
Because it again, speaking solely for myself, a lot of it kind of depends on my mood.
Okay.
So there's some days where, again, I'm having a lousy day and I need out of my own head, which the one in particular is really good at doing that. Sometimes it's simply a matter of, what, I'm bored, let me see what's going on, and for me, I actually am a military kid, and I grew up in Europe and learned to appreciate a lot of different cultures and different peoples. And that is actually one thing that I like as well, is that there's so many different cultures that are represented on Jasmine that, again, as long as the model is copacetic with it, have a conversation about the culture and what's going on, and you're trying to learn and engage a little bit more. And then of course there's the days where it's a little more base enjoyment, but it all depends. But there, like I said earlier, there's something there for everybody. There's something there for every mood. So
Oh, I like that. There's something there for every mood. That's really good. What differences or similarities do you see between Jasmine and, say, social media or Instagram or something like that?
Social media at large is this really, really big umbrella that's not really focused on any one thing, as opposed to any given model's room. We can be in talking about whatever it may be, or doing whatever it may be that we're doing, or whatever. And I'm going to keep going back to this one model's room. We have developed our own little community, and myself and the rest of the real core group, we can pick on each other, in the middle of whatever else is going on, and just have that fun and that really focused interaction and camaraderie that we've developed that focuses around having this individual there. That's the part that I honestly, that I really, really like is those connections and being able to, again, kind of focus on one core group of interaction.
That's really cool. I like your perspective on the site and what the kind of your experience. I find it really interesting. Do you have a favorite memory on Jasmine?
I like when the certain models that know each other and are friends with each other go off and we'll do a themed photo shoot together and then share those pictures and those stories and what have you. Everything that is going on in Eastern Europe at the moment, the hometown of one of the girls had a plane fall in someone's backyard not very far away from their parents' house, which the situation by itself is scary, but then having it become that much more real to someone that I've got this rapport with, and her being comfortable enough and trusting me enough to step out of the role and be human and be able to talk about that specifically and what she was thinking and what she was feeling. I was happy to be there for her. I obviously, me being me, I wish I could do more, but it's again, it's nice to have those specific relationships that have gone beyond the obvious, and that's again something that's a little bit more unique to LiveJasmin and how it operates, and the models that are part of the overall Red Life community that I've encountered. So.
That's really good to hear. As you just shared, this particular model felt safe enough to share these details with you. Again, just speaks to the authenticity of the connection that's probably developed. I'm curious, like, how does that feel for you?
Having these connections with people that you would otherwise probably never even dream of talking to otherwise, and they're all absolute sweethearts, and they're gorgeous, and they have these big personalities, and they're a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, they're people too. And that I think gets overlooked again, just because of the nature of the industry, and it feels good to be, again, to be trusted enough in that way to have those connections.
Actually what you said is very well said, and it leads me to my next question. For instance, if you think about your favorite model who brought you to LiveJasmin, because she is part of this industry, more likely than not, she has to deal with or face negative stigmas and judgments about the site, about what she does. You've clearly discovered that there's a lot more to the site and camming than the obvious. And not only that, but this is an avenue for some of the models to make their dreams come true, to provide for their families. And there's just so much more to it. I'm curious, to the people that have a negative judgment or stigma about your favorite model, about the site, what would your message to them be?
Don't judge a person based on their profession. Because a profession does not define who a person is. It's a means to an end. If I was 100 and a couple pounds lighter and a little bit better looking, I might do this too, just as a means to an end. But that doesn't define who I am as a person. And that's true for any model on any of the sites, not just LiveJasmin or the Red Life family overall, but even all of the other sites that are doing this. None of these individuals base their life and their identity on being in front of a camera. None of them. None of the ones I've talked to, and even the ones that will jump right in and say, okay, well, now that we said hello, let's go do blah blah blah. Even then, it's a means to an end. Like we've been talking about. For those that are maybe in a less comfortable socio-political situation, it's how they can afford to eat. For some, it's how they're financing a business that they really want to get into. For some, it's fun, and they enjoy it while they're doing whatever else it is that they're doing behind the scenes that we never get to see. Just because someone has a job, it does not define who they are. I do what I do, but at the closing whistle, when I close that door and I turn the lights off, I'm a completely different person. And that goes for the models here. That goes for construction workers, blue collar, white collar, everything in between. We're all people. We all have our own stories. So don't let the nature of the site deter you to looking through to see the person beneath. So you're going to find some really, really amazing people and hear some really amazing stories. And who knows what happens from there.
Very well said. I'm curious if you feel more comfortable or more safe or whatever it is to show different aspects of yourself with the models on the site.
Oh, absolutely. Because there's I'm a Gemini in the truest form, but I have way more than two sides. Just to kind of throw this out there. I've got on the clock professional me that is an absolute raging A-type personality. I've got at home me that is a much more relaxed B-type personality. I have call it 15 different groups of friends, and I'm a slightly different person in each of them. Just based on who it is, where we're at, what we're doing, what have you. And really, except for the medium, it's no different on Jasmine. It's who is the model, what kind of rapport do I have with that model, what kind of mood are we in, and play to that. But it's at the same token, it's still me. It's a part of me that doesn't always get to come out and play, as it were.
Absolutely. I have a lot of Gemini friends actually, so love Geminis. Yes. So you feel like your interactions on the site, you feel like they bring out a different side of you that is there, but you typically may not get to express it. Correct.
Yeah, because particularly in our very repressed society, a lot of things are taboo. A lot of thoughts are shunned. A lot of preferences are that's not standard missionary. And we're way more complex than that. And again, depending on the model, depending on the mood, there's some times where I want that partnership and more of a coupling. There's times where I'm feeling very, very giving. There's times where I'm feeling more I'm going to take, or whatever it may be. And like I said earlier, there's going to be someone within the platform that will match that mood. And
I love that.
And, again, we go from there.
I love that. Your positive interactions on the site with the models, your favorite model, do you feel like in any way it's affected your confidence in maybe even your dating life? Like you feel more confident to approach a woman about that topic or that thing, or no?
Specifically with my favorite model, she has helped inspire me chase a business dream that I've had for years and haven't done anything with, because she is so fearless in what she's done off-site. She had an idea, she had a friend to go in there with her, they had the capital, let's do it. And that fearlessness really just kind of kicked me in the butt and said, you know what? You've been thinking about this for the better part of a decade. You haven't done anything with it. Everyone that you even mentioned this idea to loves it. So go get educated. And I have been taking those steps. As far as my dating life specifically, again, if the situation were different, if the initial encounter were anything else, I would have asked that particular individual out forever ago. She hits all the right buttons, as it were. But again, with her and with her fearlessness and with her very largely letting all of us be who we are in her room, yeah, I've become a little more outspoken in things that I want. I've become a little more confident in saying certain things to certain people, just in general. Where most of the time I'll sit back and just kind of observe before I really react or respond. I'm starting to get a little more assertive in certain avenues, and that's because of her, directly, indirectly, what have you. But her fearlessness in life, her joie de vivre, her saying, you know what, I want to go and do this. I'm going to go and do it. Has, again, it's woken me up a little bit. It's something that I needed and I didn't know I needed, and she's helped me get there. So.
Wow, that I feel inspired to be honest with you. I like to end their interviews with one final question, which is, what is something in your life right now that you're the most grateful for?
These interactions, these relationships that have developed, have helped keep me sane ish. Again, Gemini, so that's questionable in the first place. But yeah, it's can't be a rock all the time. You have to soften up and enjoy it while you can.
Love that. You mentioned that the site has helped keep you sane throughout all this craziness. Can you just tell me any more about that?
Being cooped up in the same four walls for 2.5 years with the door closed and not really being able to interact with anyone, even though I was fortunate enough to be in an industry that was deemed to be essential, so I have to jump in the car and come out here, and doing that. But the everyday routine and the everyday humdrum and the lack of changing of scenery and the lack of changing of looking at the four walls, and it wears on people. And having this platform or any others like it, where again, the medium being what it is, but still being able to reach out and connect with another person, and again, have a completely different conversation, have a completely different worldview, have a completely different perspective on whatever it is, and just that newness, of another person, so you're temporarily changing your walls, and that's, good for anybody,
Absolutely. I like how you said that you're temporarily changing your four walls because you're getting to connect with someone who has such a different perspective or life or world. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.